Hello friends, welcome back to the channel. In our last episode, we explored Chapter 8 of Handbook of Abhidhamma Studies, Karma and Rebirth. We learned how intentional actions plant seeds that shape our future, and how volition in the Jhāna moment creates karmic results. Today, we move into Chapter 9, which is one of the most uplifting and profound topics in Abhidhamma, Jhāna and Supramundane consciousness. Jhana refers to meditative absorptions, higher states of concentration where the mind becomes unified, calm, and radiant. These states are not ordinary experiences, they are deep transformative levels of meditation that purify the mind and prepare it for insight. Supramundane consciousness refers to the moments of enlightenment, the consciousness that directly realizes nibbana. This is where the path culminates. In this presentation, we'll explore the 5 jhana factors, the nature of meditative absorption, the supramundane consciousness, and the 4 paths and fruits, stream entry, once returner, non-returner, and arahant. So if you've ever wondered, what does deep meditation feel like? How does it lead to enlightenment? What are the stages of liberation? This chapter will guide us. Jhana means absorption. It is a state of deep concentration where the mind becomes fully unified with its object. In ordinary meditation, the mind is often distracted. Thoughts wander, attention shifts, but in jhana, the mind becomes stable, focused, and absorbed. There are 4 or 5 levels of jhana depending on the system. Each level is progressively more refined with fewer mental factors. Jhana is not just concentration, it is purification. It quiets the defilements, calms the mind, and creates the foundation for insight. The Buddha often praised jhana as a powerful tool for liberation. It is not the final goal, but it is a crucial step toward enlightenment. Jhana is characterized by 5 mental factors. 1. Applied thought, vitakka, directing the mind to the object. 2. Sustained thought, vikara, keeping the mind on the object. 3. Rapture, piti, joy, delight in the meditation. 4. Happiness, sukha, calm, contentment, bliss. 5. One-pointedness, ekagata, deep concentration, unity of mind. In the first jhana, all 5 factors are present. As the meditator progresses, applied and sustained thought drop away, leaving rapture, happiness, and one-pointedness. In higher jhanas, even rapture and happiness fade, leaving pure equanimity and one-pointedness. This progression shows the refinement of the mind. It moves from coarse concentration to subtle tranquility. For example, imagine learning to play music. At first, you need effort and thought. Later, it becomes effortless, joyful, and deeply absorbing. Jhana is like that, a refinement of mental absorption. Beyond jhana lies supramundane consciousness. This is the consciousness that directly realizes nibbana. It is called supramundane because it transcends the ordinary world of conditioned phenomena. Supramundane consciousness arises in the moments of path and fruit. The path consciousness cuts off defilements, the fruit consciousness experiences the peace of nibbana. Jhana prepares the mind for this. By purifying concentration, the mind becomes sharp and stable. Then insight can penetrate the nature of reality, impermanence, suffering, and not self. This leads to supramundane consciousness. So jhana and supramundane consciousness are connected. Jhana is the foundation, supramundane consciousness is the culmination. The Abhidhamma outlines 4 stages of enlightenment, each with a path and fruit. 1. Stream entry, sotapanna, O path, cuts off wrong view and doubt. O fruit, never reborn in lower realms, destined for liberation. 2. Once returner, sakadagam, O path, weakens greed and hatred. O fruit will be reborn only once more in the human realm before liberation. Third, non-returner, anagams, O path, cuts off sensual desire and ill will. O fruit reborn in higher realms never returns to the human realm. 4. Arahant, O path, cuts off all defilements. O fruit, complete liberation, nibbana without residue at death. Each stage represents a profound transformation. Each path consciousness cuts off defilements. Each fruit consciousness experiences the peace of nibbana. This shows the gradual path of liberation. It is not all at once, it is step by step, deepening insight, weakening defilements until complete freedom. How does this help us in practice? By understanding jhana, we see the importance of concentration. We cultivate mindfulness and focus, preparing the mind for absorption. By understanding supramundane consciousness, we see the goal of practice, direct realization of nibbana. By understanding the four paths and fruits, we see the stages of liberation. We know what to aim for and we are inspired to practice diligently. For example, when meditating, we can reflect. This concentration purifies the mind. This insight leads to liberation. This path leads to nibbana. That reflection strengthens motivation. Some critics say jhana is unnecessary. They argue that insight alone is enough. But the Buddha emphasized the importance of concentration. Jhana stabilizes the mind, making insight sharper. Others misunderstand supramundane consciousness as mystical, but it is simply the mind realizing impermanence, suffering, and not self. So while details may be complex, the essence is simple. Concentration purifies, insight liberates. So to conclude, Chapter 9 of Handbook of Abhidhamma Studies presents Jhana and Supramundane consciousness. We've learned that jhana is meditative absorption characterized by 5 factors. We've seen how supramundane consciousness realizes nibbana. We've outlined the 4 paths and fruits: stream entry, once returner, non-returner, and arahant. Most importantly, we've seen how this inspires our practice. By cultivating concentration, insight, and wisdom, we move step by step toward liberation. So as you go about your day, reflect on the path. Cultivate mindfulness, strengthen concentration, deepen insight. This is the way to Nibbana. Thank you so much for joining me in this deep dive into Chapter 9 of Handbook of Abhidhamma Studies. We've journeyed through the nature of jhana, the 5 jhana factors, the supramundane consciousness, and the 4 paths and fruits. We've reflected on how this inspires us to practice diligently. If you found this exploration helpful, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with others who might be interested in Buddhist philosophy and meditation. In our next episode, we'll move into Chapter 10, where we summarize the Abhidhamma system and reflect on its practical application in daily life. Until then, may you be well, may you be peaceful, and may you continue your journey into wisdom.